Hey there! So, here we are moving into module number 7. Here, we'll spend the majority of our time revising our rough draft. So, if you have not already met with me to discuss your rough draft, make sure you email me and we can set up a time to meet in the course room on Blackboard Collaborate. So, in this module, we have a little reading to do. First, there's an article from the 1619 Project for you to read called America Wasn't a Democracy Until Black Americans Made It One. There's a link to the New York Times in this module, and there is also a link to a PDF that you can download. So if you can't access the website, if you come up against a paywall or something, you can download the PDF and read that version. So the 1619 Project is a collection of essays that are critical about the issue of race in the United States. The year 1619 is the year the very first African slave was brought to these shores. And so I think this particular article really illuminates an important contribution that African Americans have made to our country. So after reading this article, in an original post on the discussion board, answer the question, is it possible to be patriotic and still be critical of the government or critical of practices or customs in the country? Is it possible to be patriotic and still critical? So for your original post, you want to write about 200 words and then respond to another student in 75 words or more. So your response should say, do you agree or disagree with them? And how can you expand the discussion further? Maybe you can bring in an example from your own life, or maybe you can bring in an example from the reading. I'm making the discussion board post due on Tuesday at 5 because today, remember, we have the peer review exercise to complete. You should be working on that today. Remember that exercise from Module 6, Assignment 6.2, the peer review, is due by 11:59 p.m. tonight. So, the discussion board original post is due by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, and then the response is due by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Then there's a little reading for you to do about revision. And there's two kinds of revision. There's global revision and local revision. Global revision refers to the overall organization of the essay, the order of paragraphs, where you put your oppositional ideas or the refutation. Global revision is the kind of revision we do with our outline, where we're looking at the big picture, moving around paragraphs and making their order the most effective. And then there's local revision. This is where we correct our grammar, fix our word choice, fix our sentence structure. This is where you pose the question, am I saying this in the most effective way? This is where we do close revision. After that, we have a little bit of reading on compare and contrast, which is the rhetorical mode we're reading about in this module. So this is relevant to our short write activity, which is due by 5 p.m. on Friday. The short write assignment for this module is also based on the article from the 1619 Project, America Wasn't a Democracy Until Black Americans Made It One. You can address in this exercise one of 4 possible questions, so you only have to choose one. You can choose the first one. What is the major rhetorical mode of this article? Where do you find evidence of it? So think about all the rhetorical modes that we've thought of so far. There's narration, there's cause and effect, there's illustration, there's compare and contrast. I think our author uses all of those. So what is the major one that stands out to you, and where do you see evidence of it in the article? You could choose the second option, which is, what is the main argument of this essay? What's the thesis that this author is putting across here? And what are the supporting ideas that the writer uses? So here you want to use specific references to the article to support your ideas. Or you could choose the third option, which is how does the writer use sources and is it effective? So refer to at least 2 sources that the writer uses and explain how she uses them and whether they are effective in proving her argument. Or you could choose the fourth option, option number 4, which is you can focus on your favorite part of the essay. What part did you like the most and why? And again, using specific references to the reading to support your ideas. So the short write assignment, due by 5 p.m. on Friday, should be at least 200 words. And remember, you only need to focus on one of those choices. So this week we are revising our work both globally and locally. Use my comments on your rough draft and use the feedback you receive from your peer reviewer. Any issues with peer review, don't hesitate to email me and we can work them out. So we are almost to the finish line. We only have one more week after this one to go. I'm really excited to see how far you've come already. Remember, I'm always available via email if you come across any snags or have any questions.